Welcome to the Health Changers across the pond and back. And all of us here are passionate about helping people to change their health destiny. Today's topic is about toxins. And Frank is going to be talking about environmental toxins in relation to hormone disruption and obesity. Janie's going to be talking about toxic relation, frenemies. And I'm going to be talking about environmental toxins, and Gareth is going to be talking about toxic attitudes. So lots to come. So let me introduce our amazing panel. This is Dr. Frank Sabatino, who's been plant-based, I think, since Moses parted the Red Sea. So he recently completed a book called Weight Loss, Compassionate Weight Loss for Life. He also has an online course called Lean for Life, The Science of Effective Weight Loss, and you can find more at drfranksabatino.com. We have Jayney Goddard, who's the president of the Complementary Medical Association, and she's one of the leading experts of natural anti-aging and integrative medical fields. And she's written several bestsellers, including Rewind Your Body Clock. I mean, please look at the woman. I mean, like, she looks amazing. Like, please, like, you're just incredible. And then we have Gareth R. Davies, and he helps others to reduce or eliminate high blood pressure, their medications, through his no meds method. You can connect with him at healthchangers.net. And I myself, I'm Jeanne Schumacher. I'm founder of Simply Plant Based, and I have several programs to help people transition to a plant-based lifestyle, including the Weight Loss Advantage. And we just launched the Pregnancy Advantage to help women get their bodies pregnant ready, or if you're having trouble dealing with fertility. Well, let's move on to your topic, toxic relationships, frenemies, and how to audit these out of your life.
Well, you know, we normally talk about, obviously, we talk about detoxing an awful lot, don't we? And the problem is that a lot of people don't, you know, we think of detoxing as being a very physical thing, as we've just covered, obviously, with Frank. But a lot of people don't really talk too much about the emotional side of things. And I know that Gareth is coming on to that. But something I wanted to touch on just very, very shortly today, I won't go on too long, but it's just something that keeps cropping up for me with the topics that I've been asked to write about recently. I write about longevity, as you know, an awful lot of the time. And we all know, and I often mention this in these broadcasts, is that, you know, by having good social structure, by having good close friends and relationships, and the kinds of friendships and relationships where you can work together towards a common goal and so on, can add up to 9 healthy years to your lifespan. I mean, you know, that, you know, what's not to love about that, right? Now, the thing is, though, there is the flip side to the relationship issue, and that is the concept of the frenemy. Now, a lot of people sort of think, well, it's kind of a strange term. What does it actually mean? Well, one of the things, I'm just starting a spring clean challenge for people. It's called the 21-day rewind challenge. It's starting at the beginning of April. It's totally free for people to get involved in, but essentially what we're doing is we're kind of looking at ways of spring cleaning our lives and getting rid of anything that's unnecessary. And that includes looking at your friends and family type of situation, whether there are any relationships that actually might not be as supportive to you as they possibly could be. So what is a frenemy? A frenemy is somebody who you think is a friend, but for some strange reason, you know, you'll spend time with them or not, as the case may be, like in lockdown, for example, over here. So we don't really see people at all. But in normal circumstances, a frenemy is somebody that, you know, you could talk to or spend time with, and they leave or you leave, and you just feel completely drained and you can't quite put your finger on it. They may sort of have these little digs. They may sort of say things to you that are uncomfortable, and then they'll say, oh no, only joking. And it's sort of these little kind of weird mind games that, quite honestly, anybody, you know, we're all struggling with our mental health at the moment, especially, you know, in lockdown countries. I was reading something just this morning, actually, about the fact that in lockdown countries, we're all suffering from at least low-grade depression. And I can speak to that myself. I mean, it is horrendous. I was saying to Frank the other day, I've not touched another human being since January. And that does really weird stuff to you. And there's a term for it now, it's called skin hunger, because you just have nothing. And it's the weirdest thing. But so what, going back to the concept of the frenemy is somebody who just does these little digs. They criticize, but it's not constructive criticism. It's sort of saying little things that make you feel uncomfortable, but it's not overt. So if you find that you've got people like that in your life, that it's really, really important, especially as we're sort of battening, we've got the hatches all battened down. We're kind of under a siege mentality right now. Not so much for you guys in the States, but certainly here, and I don't know about you, Gareth, as well, but for us in Europe, it's really, really bad. And so, if you've got people like that as well, my goodness, that adds to your psychological burden of discomfort and ill health. So where we're all struggling with mental health issues, and the stigma has been well and truly, certainly over here in the UK, we've had really famous stars coming out and talking about mental health issues, normalizing it. So it's the big topic. We're all talking about it. Thank goodness. And it's not now being hidden away. We know that the suicide rate since the beginning of March last year has massively increased, particularly amongst young men, because they don't talk to friends. So, something has to be done. So please take an audit of anybody in your life who in any way contributes to you moving outside your comfort zone. If it's just something that happens now and again, then maybe just talk to the person and say, hey, that makes me feel uncomfortable, or was that really necessary, or what did you mean by that? Get them to explain. If they come back with something like, haha, you've got no sense of humor, or haha, it was a joke, or words to that effect, that's gaslighting, and that's actually serious. And so you really do need to consider whether that person might actually be better off taking a hike. So I want to leave that there, but hopefully I've given enough information there for people to just take stock and think about what's good for me, what's good for my psychological health, my emotional health, and my spiritual health and well-being.
I just think back when I was still teaching and I had colleagues at school that would just literally, the ones that they would start trashing school, the administration, or just saying just very, very negative things all the time and gossiping. And once you start doing that and you start going down that road, almost every time I would finish talking to this person, I was like, oh, and I just felt nasty myself because I participated. She would start talking about the gossip and everything, and I got sucked in. And finally, towards the, when we were still, seeing people, when I would get into conversations with her, I'd be like, let's talk about things that are positive, and we just changed the topic of the conversation. But honestly, I know it's exactly what you mean about that. You just feel so drained afterwards, and it is not good.
It's interesting, actually, what you've highlighted there, because if it's somebody who can actually flip and realize that, gosh, actually, yes, I am playing the ain't it awful game, which is something that psychologist Eric Byrne speaks about quite a lot. That's something that can be turned around, and that person is a legitimate friend because they realize that the pattern is gosh, I didn't realize I was doing that, but wow, okay, and we can stop doing that. So that's fine, that's a friendship. But if it's somebody that, and this is often born of jealousy, it's born of people finding that that they can't compete with you, if they feel they need to compete but they can't compete with you, or what have you. Those are the ones that you really do actually need to watch out for, because it's a really great big dark sucky hole that you'll be dragged down.
I know that some people, when they walk into a room, they're full of life and energy, and they light up the room. Well, those frenemies are the ones that light up the room when they leave.
Yeah,